Eti Sen is how are you in the Tree Akan language of the Ashanti tribe of Ghana, but also translates into Comment allez-vous in French, Ni hao ma in Mandarin, and Till Your Turn for those that know. Guests and collaborators are encouraged to take a step back and to check in with self. By checking in with self, you begin to explore how you're truly feeling, be it mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and of course, physically. Yes. Salutations, peace, and love to all you beautiful souls out there. Welcome to another episode of a podcast called Eti Sen. At a podcast called Eti Sen, Eti Sen is always the first question we ask. So before I proceed, allow me to ask you, Eti Sen. Give you some time to reflect. How are you? Till your turn. Ni hao ma? Comment allez-vous? Anyway, mas multilingual if I need to be, just on certain phrases. But anyway, welcome to another installment of the podcast. As usual, we have a special guest. You know, everyone I invite on this podcast is special in your own way, and I maintain that. So without further ado, actually, let him introduce himself.
Yeah, thank you. I'll borrow his words. I'll say Eti Sen. If you're on this platform, on this new podcast, and you want to get to know us, how we reason and how we think, I think it's only proper we say Eti Sen. And I believe everyone is doing well. So I would like to introduce myself, my humble self. I'm Victor. I'm a humble Nigerian. I'll put it like that. But we are from the world, or I'm a citizen of the world, because we are born here to make the world a better place.
Okay, yeah. All right. So, as he mentioned, he's Victor. So let's welcome Victor to the podcast, everyone. Yay! Welcome, Victor. So, just to break the ice, just to give the audience a bit of a flavor about who you are, just tell us 3 things about yourself. Now, it could be, fact. It could be fiction. It could be made up. Could be actual. So just tell us 3 things about yourself that you like people to know about you.
Thank you, Lee. I would like to call myself a person of many feathers, of many colors, just like the song that says a coat of many colors. Mm-hmm. But one of the things you should know about me is I'm a poet. Mm-hmm. I love poetry. Poetry is the rhythm of life. And I believe in expressing myself with that tool. And that is what I do. I love to do in moments where I'm down with great distress. The only easy way out I know is to write. And when I write, I feel relieved. The one thing you should know about me is, with respect to everyone that believes in whatever thing they believe in, I believe so much in God. My spirituality is not religion. My spirituality is my service to humanity. Humanity is what matters to me more than the religious organization you identify with. That is what defines me. You are human. Once I cut your body, you cut mine. What is going to come up is a blood, and it's red in color. There is no blue blood. There is no green blood. There is no. Once I see red, that means we are one. Be you white, be you Asian, be you African, whatever you are, we are one. Yeah. So I'm highly spiritual. I'm not highly religious. Get that straight. Then the third thing I think you should know about me is I'm family oriented. I'm someone that believes in the concept of family. And family most times is not those who you are born in the same family way. Family expands, family extends. Those who share the same dreams, those that share your vision, those that want to see you succeed against all odds. There's no competition with family. Family, we are here to support each other. We are not here to compete with each other.
Make it clear, bro.
So that is one thing you have to understand. I'm family oriented. I believe in family. That's the only thing I can give. I can throw in my towel for. I can do all I can within my grasp and power to promote, to be there for people I call my family. So I think these three things are quite enough for you to know about me. So.
Oh, thank you very much for sharing, Victor. So he touched and dropped a few gems. Hopefully you were listening attentively. Now, as a proud Nigerian, Nigerians will be proud regardless. Nigerians never carry last.
At all.
Apart, of course, when they're playing Ghana in the World Cup qualifier.
I know you're gonna come there. But
anyway,
I believe one thing. I think when it comes to Ghana is like our little brother by the corner.
Oh dear.
But in the football that just happened, I was supporting Ghana full time because if you look at the terrain politically, the terrain economically in Nigeria is nothing to write home about. It's nothing to be proud of.
Exactly.
So I think it's good to give honor to whom honor is due. At this time in history, Ghana is doing well for themselves and they ought to represent us. That doesn't mean that we are of anything lesser. We are all one. Ghana, Nigeria, Sierra Leone, anyone, we are all one. We are all West Africans. Once one of my brother is there on the top, I believe I'm equally represented. But we just don't agree on that with Ghana Jollof and Nigerian Jollof. But that's a topic for another day. Let me not go there.
Indeed. So you can see this is still quite on the minds of most of our fellow Nigerians. And as Victor mentioned, we're all one anyway. These invisible borders that we have created is just part of division. And if you divide, you can conquer. But you know what? There's a lot of conversations for another topic. We might delve into it a bit more deeper. But thank you very much for sharing those three things about yourself. It just gives the listening audience an opportunity to just get a bit of a vibe, a bit of a flavor, of the type of person you are and what your principles in life are. So with the podcast, we've had our first season. The first season we were normally talking about mental health, spiritual health, emotional health, and also physical health. But with this season, we're trying to obviously develop it in a different type of format. We're just going to have a conversation, just ask you in terms of just the actual question that they're saying. How are you? What's going on in life? What are you comfortable sharing? So that the people listening can also use it as a form of therapy in essence, and also a form of understanding that it's not just you going through these things or these challenges that you may be going through. And we're all having very similar experiences in life, and we just have to persevere. We just have to stay true towards the goal. And that doesn't mean we're not going to have moments and days where we're feeling down, we're feeling low, we're feeling depressed. But as with the vibrational frequencies, as with peaks and troughs, we're going to go through ups and downs, and it's just being aware and being in tune when we're having these experiences to know that it shall pass and we shall traverse and we shall move on to another experience of life. But anyway.
Well, when we ask Eti Sen, it covers the periscope, is very large.
Exactly.
When someone walks up to you and says, "How are you?" The person wants you to give them a brief summary of what is going on in your life at a particular moment. Well, we are living in this life, and believe you me, even you listening to me, you've experienced a lot of things in the past that you thought that are going to kill you, that you thought that this is the last of you, you thought that will be the end of you. But here you are listening to my voice. That means you didn't die, did you? But if you are still here, that means there is still hope. Like I used to say, every day above the ground is a blessing, because people are going through a lot. To be sincere, people are passing through hell. There are challenges that buffets us, that makes us feel like this is our end. But one thing I've learned with life is ability to be calm in the midst of great trouble.
Yeah.
Because it is only when in that calmness you can have the moment to think out a solution to your problem.
Yeah.
You can have the moment to analyze, to decentralize, and also to make yourself more susceptible to solutions that will come by inspiration.
Yeah.
So what we need as humans, I always try to personalize some of these things because it makes sense when I'm telling you something of experience. I've experienced, I'm not just making something up.
Yeah.
Life has brought me to a stage where it humbled me. Growing up being a child that has always had it easy with life, gotten what I wanted, achieving things academically, achieving things socially, just life being fair to you.
Yeah.
It came to a stage where all of a sudden things started crumbling. At that point you think God has deserted you. At that point you think Mother Nature is fighting you. But it is not desertation. No one is fighting you. It is a point. I call it the turning point. I call it the breaking point. I call it a point where you experience what we call metanoia in Greek language.
Drop the gems, bro. Drop them.
That is a point where life happens to you. You happen to life. It is a point where you learn, where there is a total change, a change of course, a change of purpose. And if you've not hit that point, brother man, you will get to that point. The position you find yourself in life will not stop you from experiencing that point in your life. Why I said this is, you might be born into a very wealthy home. Let's take for instance our presidents, their children.
Yeah.
They have everything money can buy in this world, everything wealth can get. But that doesn't exonerate them from that point in life where they feel like everything is against them.
It's true. It's very true. So how does that relate to how you are right now? Are you in that point in your life right now?
Yes.
I had a strong feeling that you were.
Yes.
Hence the pretext.
Because it has made me to see a different layer of myself.
Okay.
It has opened up a different horizon where I've seen that, oh man, in all things you need God, you need your vision, and you need your purpose. I was reading a book of Nelson Mandela, his autobiography, and he said something. They can take away every material thing you have. People can take away everything that has to do with this flesh, but no one can take away your dreams.
Yes.
He said while he was in the four walls of the prison, that he was only there with his dreams, with his vision that he's going to make it out of this place.
I see.
I am in that position where life has humbled me, but has also given me a mindset to know that my dreams are still valid. To pat myself on the back and say, Victor, your dreams are still valid. The dreams, you that is listening to me, you that is passing through things that you can't explain, you that are passing through things that you think that there are forces beyond you that are manipulating you. Your dreams are valid.
Yes, indeed, they are.
Your dreams are not just valid, but they can become a reality. The difference, the distance between your dreams becoming just a dream and a reality is an action.
Yes, action.
Never stop putting in the work. Never stop putting in the bit by bit, because every drop by drop, it becomes an ocean. No ocean became an ocean just by becoming an ocean. It's by little drops of water coming in, streams meeting together. it becomes a river. From a river, it connects to another river. It flows into an emblem, it becomes an ocean. And from there, all things wells up of life. So your dreams are valid.
Yes, indeed.
I say this to myself, Victor, your dreams are valid. And if I can say it to myself, you can say it to yourself.
We're all one. We're all the same. So the experiences that you're going through at the moment, someone else may be going through at this same time on this same timeline, or have gone through it in the past. And will definitely someone will go through it in the future. And as Victor mentioned, your dreams are valid. You know, they can become reality.
That's it.
But with action. With action, and also with the desire and the absolute belief that these actions will lead to you achieving your dreams. So as Victor mentioned, clearly he's at a point in his life right now where he's being humbled. He's being humbled by Mother Nature, and he's realized his inner strength, his deeper strength.
Certainly.
He's realized that he can go to the depths and still come out of it. He's realizing that there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. And no matter what experiences that you may go through, I know it's easier said than done. It's easier when we're just sitting back and we're talking about it. But when you're in the moment, obviously you're dealing with the situation, so it's a bit different. It's not as easy to just, oh yeah, of course I'm going to go through it, so let me just let it pass. If you get to that stage in life where you can do that, that's when your awareness has been amplified to a certain level where you can be aware in the moment and respond and be attentive. So you are aware and you are attentive.
That's it.
So all of that will eventually get to you.
That's
it. In all of this, Victor, in terms of getting to the point you are, where you've realized that you're being humbled, have you been paying attention to how the impact it's having on your mental health?
Yeah, it's thank you for this question. The issue of mental health can never be overemphasized. It's as important as life itself.
Yeah.
The life you're living starts from the mind. Your mentality defines you. So it has impacted my mental health, my experiences as of late, which I'm able, without any iota of shame to admit, has impacted me in many ways. And one of those ways is, if I want to be sincere, it has stressed my mental health.
Okay. I appreciate the sincerity. Yeah.
Yes. And I believe that the stress cannot just only be seen through its lens of negativity.
Okay.
The stress can also be seen from a lens of positivity.
Okay.
Because if you understand the concept of expansion, when you get a rubber band, when you expand it, either by forcing it to expand, what does it mean? It creates another space. The space comes in as you expand.
Yes, indeed.
So, yeah, I might have been stressed, but it opened a new level of possibilities for me.
Yes.
So it made me understand that, just like Robert Schuller rightly said, that which didn't kill you makes you stronger. I can be stressed, yes, but I won't allow the stress to define me.
Exactly.
Now, from this stress, it has opened up a new frontier of possibility. That if I can really stretch to this level, that means I can also achieve things positively in this level. So inversely, it's affecting my mental health and it's improving my mental health.
Especially if you're able to have that fortitude and persevere through it.
To persevere through it and to realize it. Because when you dwell so much in a pain, in a discomfort, it blinds your ability to see the comforts that could come from that situation. So I've realized, if you realize that there are certain things you just have to allow them to pass through you. When we used to be in the secondary school, they used to tell us, I was opportune or privileged to attend a seminary where I was training to become a priest. And what some of our mentors used to say something: you don't just pass through the seminary, you allow the seminary to pass through you. Sometimes you don't allow your pain to pass through your mental health. Allow your mental health to pass through it. In that way, you can realize a position of advantage, not a position of disadvantage.
Yeah.
And it culminates into making you either a better person or a bitter person. Because if your mental health is affected, you become bitter.
Yes, it is.
But if your mental health, through whatever you've experienced, through the impact on it, you've realized and you've taken a position of advantage, you become a better person.
Indeed.
It is no crime or no sin to have issues that will affect your mental health.
It's all part of life.
It's all part of life. It's a process. But it is a crime, or it becomes a problem, not a crime. It becomes a challenge if you dwell on that position, on that problem. But when you make efforts to see the light at the end of the tunnel, the mental health becomes something that you can celebrate, not something that you can mourn from.
So it looks, from the sounds of it, or when I say look, it sounds, you have some excellent coping strategies when you're going through these low periods, these moments where you're, as you mentioned, being humble. I guess it has an impact on your spending and also your ability to live the experiences that you normally would have lived, and maybe enjoy the things that you normally would have enjoyed in terms of disposable income, and it's also in terms of entertainment and the things that you'd have normally done. And I really appreciate you sharing it, and I also really appreciate you clearly having seen the duality of life, and that in life, like everything, with every up there's a down. You wouldn't understand what a high is if you've not had lows. And you seem to have that grasp and have a clear understanding of how life plays out. And hopefully, for those listening and for those watching, I should mention actually, because we're up on YouTube again, innit? So you know what we have to make.
That's it. That's it.
For those watching as well, hopefully you're getting some gems from Victor's eloquence. You also talked about spirituality and religion, and you made a clear separation between the two. And thank you for that. Most people are, the lines are relatively blurred when you talk about spirituality and religion. Religion is, for me, dogmatic. It's based on dogma and follow a set of essentially laws, and then you'll be able to see the promised land. Whereby spirituality, for me, seems to be more focused on your experience of life and how you interact with every other sentient being, be it the plants, be it the animals, and be it other human races, regardless of their class, status, complexion, physical appearance, or views in life.
That's it.
You just act and treat them how you would want them to treat you.
That's the golden rule of life.
Exactly. And if you are looking for a religion, practice a religion of love, unconditional love. I love you because I love you. I don't care if you love me back, but I just love you. That's it. So in terms of when you were going through these moments and you were feeling low and you're feeling humbled, there a part of you that felt that it was because you talked about having the privilege of having some of your education in a seminary, so I'm assuming that you have some sort of religious exposure.
Background.
So did you think that you drifted from God, from Christianity, and because of that you're being thrown through trials and tribulations and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I would like to come in here because I love the fact that I passed through the 4 walls of the seminary. I am a product of Sacred Heart Seminary in Sude, located in Enugu State, Nigeria.
Rep it, gang.
And it made me who I am today. Those were the foundational moments, were the tenets of sacrosanctity and the tenets of knowledge, education, the tenets of greatness were implanted in us. And I stand here, I make bold to say that I am eternally grateful to my parents, my dad in blessed memory, and my beautiful sweet mother, Teresa Chidin Zako, wherever you are. I love you, Mom, for giving me the privilege and the opportunity to pass through the 4 walls of the seminary. Now, one thing I've picked out, one thing I've learned from that experience is something I would like to share here on Eti Sen. Just before I continue, I still want to ask, Eti Sen, how are you? I hope you're still here with us. You are listening to us. Those watching on the YouTube and those listening on the podcast. Yeah, with how it has made me either drift away, believing probably because I drifted away from my spirituality or my religion or my background, and that is why I'm passing and facing all these challenges now. Every soul must cry. If I should make a reference with the same religious book the Christian religion reveres, the Holy Bible, the book of Ecclesiastes says there is time for everything.
Yes, there is.
There is a time to cry, and there is a time to make merry.
There is.
Every soul, just the same way like every soul shall taste death, every soul will cry at one point. Whatever you are passing through, don't think you are facing is as a result of the actions, things you've done in the past that God is punishing. It could be because there is law of karma. There are cardinal laws of nature that when you go against them, nature comes for you. But also there are natural laws, there are natural happenstances that happen to us just because we are existing in this world. Just because we are human, floating the earth, just because there is a level of finitism in us, there is an end to every flesh. So, and the burden you and I carry is the burden of the flesh. And that is the burden that reminds us that we must cry. That is the burden that brings us pain, discomfort, challenge. And also sometimes the beautiful thing about the body is sometimes it gives us innumerable, unexplainable pleasures. So I'm just trying to say that whatever situation you find yourself, don't think it's as a result that there are things you should have done you didn't do, or you deviated from the way of God. God does not follow religion. God is irreligious.
Oh, powerful there, you know.
He is God of all flesh. That flesh could be Asian, it could be German, European, it could be American, it could be African, it could be any flesh. It could be the flesh of animals. Any flesh, because he made all things. I would like to share an experience I had in the seminary. I used to have a teacher I used to serve. That was in my junior secondary. Whenever I did something bad, he will forgive me. But he will tell me, these are the consequences of your action. You will also go through them. And it might be missing my afternoon meal. It might be doing a manual labor. But he is trying to let me know that in life, God, nature, might forgive, but the consequences are there for you to purify you the more. It is not to make you suffer now. It is when you become irredeemable, when you become unrepentable of your actions, that it becomes a suffering for you.
It's an interesting perspective.
But when it becomes something you're passing through, knowing that you erred, it purifies you the more. It humbles you the more. So that is my perspective on it.
Okay. Thanks for sharing, Victor. Thank you very much for sharing you. And I like the depths that you go into. You always kind of back it up and, you know, give an experience, and you don't dwell on things, and you don't seem to feel sorry for yourself. You accept situations for what they are.
That's
and
it.
You try to ride a wave, and you know that it's a test of one's character to be able to literally persevere and be patient.
It's true.
The ability to endure delay. So thank you for sharing that. Now, you talked about how, you know, this skin of ours that we have is what gives us the ability to feel pain and to also in the same vein feel pleasure.
Yeah.
And I think that was, for me, was a nice way of having a segue and basically talking about, has this impacted your physical health? We've gone through COVID, we've actually had this whole podcast and we've not spoken about COVID because currently we're being distracted. That doesn't mean that the reality on the ground of what is actually happening in Ukraine but nevertheless it remains a distraction, the war in Ukraine and Russia. And it's had an impact on a lot of prices and already austere, absolutely austere conditions. The price of everything has gone up. And that's a different segue. That's just a little mini rant. But the question that I'm really driving at, Victor, is, were you someone that was physically active in the first place? Were you going gym? Were you playing any sports? Were you doing any exercises? And is it something that you still do? Or because of what's happening and where you find yourself in life right now, it's no longer a priority, you don't really do that?
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm physically that loves to express himself. I call myself a work of art, and I'm art itself.
Mm-hmm.
Because art, wherever you find it, dwells in expression.
Mm-hmm.
So I express myself through many means. Like the one I mentioned about writing poems is a form of a physical thing I used to do.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm a singer. I sing as well.
Okay.
And it's something that I enjoy doing in the comfort of my home.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy doing it to friends that I care about. And at the same time, I try to keep fit physically. I'm not much of a gym rat, like people call themselves. But I stay in the comfort of my house. I've got 2 little dumbbells, 50 kg, 50 kg. I use it to do my planks, maintain the posture, build tenacity. Just do something that, makes your will to be stretched and to be strong. Yeah, but since the COVID, to be sincere, COVID was not actually killing people, but the fear of COVID was killing people. The fear it instilled in us. It stopped us from going out, doing things in the parks. Outdoor activities totally ceased. So it hampered on a lot of things that we do. Even sometimes, even in the comfort of your room, you're still afraid of catching COVID. You don't know who you've talked to, who you've gone out to. You just have that fear instilled in your head. Well, did it hamper on my physical activities? To some extent, yes. But to some extent, most of the things I do indoors.
Okay.
So I still find time to sing, I find time to write, I find out to exercise within the comfort of my rooms, to do my small dumbbells, I find out to still do the things I normally do,
So your routine, your day-to-day activity, it wasn't really impacted.
It wasn't.
Yeah, it was business as usual for you.
It was business as usual for me. It impacted when I had to. There was no work to do anymore. At some point, you have to stay home. It impacted in that aspect.
Okay.
But apart from that, it didn't affect much.
Yeah.
It didn't affect much. For people who do gyms on a regular, it affected. For people who normal hangouts, it affected my normal hangout. Like chill out, family chill out, friends chill out, hang out. It affected all that. But we're all doing that over the Zoom, by the way. But that's a topic for another day.
Thank you very much for sharing, Victor. And may I just add that physical health isn't obviously always about just going to the gym. We normally focus on the gym now because that's something that can easily be measured.
Yeah.
But also it's all about your diet, what you consume, what you eat, the food you eat. That also contributes, and it's an element of your physical health. Are you fasting? Do you practice intermittent fasting? Are you on a plant-based diet? Are you pescatarian? Are you just a meat eater, a regular omnivore, herbivore? All of these decisions factored in with good sleep, ideally one that follows a REM cycle, and also just obviously doing a good form of physical exercise. All of this contributes to your actual physical health. So although we've spoken primarily about gym, make sure you're obviously eating well, you're sleeping well, and exercising, and all of that should contribute eventually to your physical health. So it's been an amazing episode with Victor. We've spoken about life in general, and he mentioned about being at a point in life essentially where you're humbled and understanding that although this may be initially viewed as a challenge, there's also opportunity for growth, and there's opportunity to...
There's a silver lining.
Exactly. We've spoken about mental health, we've spoken about physical, spiritual, and religious experiences, and religion as well, essentially. Touched a bit on COVID. Didn't really go into nothing about the Ukraine war. Victor is going to be part of a panel going forward that will be discussing those topics, whereby we can...
It's a privilege, and I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, this was more of a bit of an introduction to who he is, and kind of basically get to see and get to have a conversation about where he's at right now in life and how he's feeling. Eti Sen, how is he? So yeah, Victor, is there any last thing you'd like to share with those listening, with those watching?
Yeah, I would.
We bring this episode to an end.
Yeah, thank you very much. I would like to start by appreciating you, and you are doing a great work, man.
Thank you, bro.
I love to see we young people come out, innovate things, create impact and add positivity to other people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a young man that just come and decided to ask you Eti Sen. And it's an act of love. Right? Like he rightly said, if you are looking for a religion, it should be a religion of love. Giving, don't expect it in return. Well, from my own side, I would like to say that Eti Sen in my own diet. I'm Igbo, by the way. I'm proud Igbo Queen.
Queen.
Yeah. I'm proud Igbo anywhere, anytime. Nigerian Igbo, but also I'm a proud Biafran. I'm Biafran all the way. In our language, Eti Sen is Kedu ki mere. So I'm using this opportunity to ask my fellow Igbo Biafran people, Kedu ki mere. And well, it's been an amazing episode, and we've got to open up our lives to share our experiences. One word I have for you: go out there, open up your life to another person and share your experiences. You might not know who you are healing. You might not know who you are taking from the dungeon of death, because a problem shared, they say, is half solved. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you very much. So, it's been a privilege. It's been a pleasure.
It's an honor.
It's been an honor. Thank you for tuning in. You know what you need to do. If you're on YouTube, you know the formula. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you feel like it. Do what you feel like at the end of the day, because you're in control of that. But hopefully you've watched it till the end and you've enjoyed it, because listen, you're going to be seeing our faces all over the gaff. You're going to be seeing a lot more of us. But yeah, look after yourself, and always make sure you check in with yourself. Keep asking yourself, how am I? How am I doing? How am I really feeling? Eti Sen.
See you guys.